first chapter?
I can say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Compassion, fear of loss of enjoyment, uh, sinful, fear or call it sinful actions, and then degradation of family.
Yes, yes. And then in the second chapter, we heard one more reason.
Yeah, indecision.
Yes, yeah. So these are the five reasons he give, and then he says that it's better that actually they conquer, and they just I just go to forest or they just kill me unarmed like that. So if we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing. So meaning he doesn't know this here. It is say, he's saying that I don't know which one is better. But even if I win. Sorry, even if I win the kingdom, still I cannot enjoy it because I won't care to live because it is tinted with the blood shed of all my family members. So then in the verse number 7, he accepts Krishna as a spiritual master. So important is that whenever we have difficulties in material life, so we cannot solve those problems by ourselves. Arjuna, who is a devotee, actually, who is a friend of Krishna, who is a devotee of Krishna, he also couldn't solve his problems by his own. In the first chapter, he gave so many arguments based on the Shastra, actually, Dharma Shastra, um, uh, what is that? Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra, all that, right? He gave so many and he also said that he has heard it in disciplic succession, but still he is not able to solve his problems by himself. So here in verse number 7, he accepted Krishna as his spiritual master, right? So now we'll continue to verse number 8. Someone would want to read?
I can read nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Long purport. Nahi nahi praprasyami mama panudyat yakchokam uchostanam indriyanam avapya bhumau asapatnam nidam rajyam surunam api charipatyam. Translation Publication of Prabhupada ki jai. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in the heaven. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principle of religion and moral code, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master Lord Shri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc., are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, he is a real spiritual master. Kripa Vipra Kripa Nyasi Sudra Kene Naya. Ye Krishna Tattva Veda Se Guru Haya. It does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a family of small family, or he's in the renounced order of life. If he's the master of the science of Krishna, he's the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 128. So without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in the Vedic literature, Sat Karma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visarada Asvai Navo Guner Nasyad Vaishnavasva Pacho Guru. A scholarly Brahmana expert in all Vedic knowledge is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or an expert in science of Krishna consciousness. But a person in a family in the lower caste, can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. Padma Purana. The problems of material existence, birth, death, old age, and disease cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all the facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed. Yet the problems of material existence are still there, still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitutes the science of Krishna, through the bona fide spiritual, through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentation for family, social, national, and international inabilities, then Arjuna would have not said that even in that unrivaled kingdom on earthly or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his lamentations. He sought therefore refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development for supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by cataclysm of material nature. Even elevation into the higher planetary situation, as men are seeking now on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Shine punya matra lokam visanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Some downfall only constitutes more causes for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna as Arjuna is seeking so, thinking to do so. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve the problems of to solve the problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. Hari Bol.
Hari bol. Yeah, Prabhu, you want to say something?
Right. So here now Arjuna, is overcome with grief, and there is all this. He's having all these sensations, and he's saying that he'll not be able to fight even if he wins a prosperous kingdom like the demigods. So in the purport, here again, Srila Prabhupada says Arjuna is putting so many arguments not to fight, again, based on religious reasons. And but the thing is that if you try to consult yourself to solve problems of life, they say that I'll follow the scripture or on religious principles by yourself, you won't be able to do it. May not even understand what he's saying. So that's why even academic knowledge, scholarships, high positions, society, none of them is going to help you. Only thing is you have to seek refuge at the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna through a bona fide spiritual master. So that bona fide spiritual master who is 100%, who is 100% in Krishna consciousness, that person can guide you to all the problems. Others making an endeavor by yourself is going to be useless. And that bona fide spiritual master is one who is 100% Krishna conscious. It doesn't matter where that person is coming from. He could be coming from materially speaking a very low bare caste or something. But if he's 100% Krishna conscious, then he's qualified to be a spiritual master, and we can get guidance from such a person. On the other end, a Brahmana who may know all the mantras and everything, but that person, if he's not a Vaishnava or a Krishna conscious person, then is not qualified. That person cannot, that person will not solve your problem of this birth, that, all that, and disease. And material comforts, yes, and material comforts in family, society, national, international, that is not going to solve your problems of life. They're not going to drive away, because if that was the case, then Arjuna would have not said that, because even if by acquiring all this kingdom, it was still not going to solve this problem. So only Krishna consciousness would solve your problem. Yeah, Mataji, I think I can summarize.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, so the application part for these verses here is, we see that Arjuna is saying that even an unrivaled kingdom is not going to take away my despondency, right? He's saying
Right.
that. So And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying any kind of economic development and all that can solve the problem of life of birth, death, old age, and disease. So, and also he takes shelter of Krishna. So it tells us that without that taking shelter, as I was saying before, independently we cannot solve our material problems, right? So we need to take shelter of Krishna, as Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, the most famous verse and one of the essence verses of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishami Ma Shucha, right? That I am going to make you fearless. I'll take away all the sinful reactions. You just take shelter of me. So that taking shelter is very, very important. And Arjuna, by his action of accepting Krishna as a spiritual master, is showing us that actually. And then fully taking shelter of Krishna is the only way to remove our pains and despondencies, right? And um, the qualification of a spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada has described in the purport, that who knows the Krishna tattva or philosophy, that person can only be the bona fide spiritual master. And we hear in fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita that verse, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma na eti mameti sarjuna. So if we understand the tattva, the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and his activities, then only we can go back to the spiritual world. That's what Krishna says that. So, then how can we know about that transcendental nature of Krishna? Only that person who knows it, he can tell. And the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, is that who knows that tattva, that transcendental nature of Krishna's activities and appearance. So then that person can teach us that. Any discussion on this verse? Because this is also a very important verse. Anybody wants to add something? And Krishna, Arjuna is kind of saying in this verse that I don't want any wealth or fame or position or peaceful life. I just want transcendental knowledge. Kind of that is the message Arjuna is giving in this verse, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So basically, and also we see Srila Prabhupada is saying that if economy, like America is most developed country, but here the rate of depression is the most actually, right? People should be most happy here, but it is not. And the people or in the villages where people don't even have like good big houses, where they just work every day and then just eat whatever they earn. Even they don't have proper vegetables and all, they just eat like the dry chapati with some pickle or something. They are most happy. Like countries like Brahma, uh, what do you call, right? Burma or something. Their
And
people are yeah, yes, Prabhu.
yeah, you're meaning the third world countries.
Yeah, yeah. So people are more happy there, even though they are living under poverty line, right? So this economic development alone is not going to give us satisfaction and happiness.
No, they also did a research years ago, and now that number might have changed. This is going back about 10, 15 years ago, about 10 years ago. In even in America, they did a research, the psychologists, and they said up after people get their money, their happiness increases as they get more money up to about $80,000. Okay, this was back about 15 years ago. After $80,000, the more money you make, the more miserable you get. Because then what
Yeah,
happens? Your more money, The rich people, what is their problem? The poor person is looking for money. The rich person is making to sure that money doesn't disappear. So
Yeah.
so after a certain point, then that law of economics comes into play. That more and more does not give you satisfaction, gives the dissatisfaction.
Hmm.
And some
Yeah.
of the richest people in the world, are the miserable. That's
Yeah.
why they jump off the bridge or do suicide. We
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
people.
And fame. So we
Yeah,
know like so many celebrities, once they get popular with some movie or something, and then they go down and they commit suicides, or
yeah.
they become addict with some drugs or something, because like they don't have that charm anymore. They are not
You know,
accepted as they were accepted before, right? So
I,
what
I
kind
mean,
of Yes,
the,
Prabhu.
the the famous example we have it in our own society. The Beatles, they were very rich, very famous. They had it all, but they were not happy. They're looking for happiness, and they
Yeah,
did
yeah,
drugs. They did drugs until they met Srila Prabhupada, and he gave them the Hare Krishna mantra, and how happiness
yeah,
came to them.
yes. Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Anything else about this verse? Okay, I'm moving on then. So we will probably, yeah, I think this is small. We will read this in an end. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right. Someone would like to read?
I can read Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Verse number 9. Sanjaya Vacha Evam Yuktva ऋषिकेशां गुडाकेशः परन्तपः नो योऽस्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तोषिणं बभूवः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada period.
Yeah.
Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Purport. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that. Prabhu, can you please mute your phone?
Oh, sorry.
Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjaya disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies, Parantapaha. Although Arjuna was for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicates that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness, and would then surely fight. Thus, Trishta's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Mataji. You want to say something?
Yeah, so now Sanjaya was saying to Dhritarashtra that Arjuna is saying that because was saying so many arguments to Krishna, and he said, I'm not going to fight, and he became silent, and Prabhupada explained in the
Mm.
purport that Dhritarashtra was very happy to hear that
Mm-hmm.
oh, Arjuna is not going to fight and he's going to taking the profession of begging. But Sanjay again disappointed Dhritarashtra, and he said Arjuna is very capable to fight with the Kauravas, and because he took the shelter of Krishna, he became a disciple of Krishna, and now Krishna is going to enlighten him with the perfect knowledge of self-realization. So Arjuna is going to fight. So again, Dhritarashtra was disappointed.
Mm. Yeah, very, very. Yeah, the names we talked about it earlier, that Krishna addresses Arjuna with different names, and Arjuna addresses Krishna with different names, and Sanjaya is also telling different names. Here, even though Arjuna, he said that I shall not fight, but the name used is Parantapa, the chastiser of enemies, right? And then Govinda. What does Govinda mean? Who gives pleasure
Give
to the
to the cup.
senses. Only and only when we use our senses in service of Krishna, right?
Right.
When
Yes.
we use our senses in service of Krishna, then our senses are pleased. That is the meaning of Govinda. And also, Govinda means he gives pleasure to the cows. So, Govinda is used, meaning Arjuna actually is going to use all his senses in the service of Krishna and pleasing him, right? And what does Krishna want? Krishna wants the fight to happen. So Sanjay is using the appropriate names and he is just discouraging Dhritarashtra to think whatever he is thinking. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So only that lesson comes again and again here that we can solve our problems and we can get out of lamentation only and only when we take shelter of Krishna. Right? Right?
Yep.
So, Mataji, Parantapa word is used for whom? Krishna?
No,
Parantapa?
no. Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Parantapa, Arjuna, chastiser of enemy. Yeah, here. Paramtapa, the chastiser of enemies. For
Oh, yes.
Arjuna. And then Rishikesha also. Evamuktva Rishikesham, the master of the
Master of
senses.
senses.
Yeah, Gudakesha. This is also that who could win
Conquered
over
Conqueror
sleep.
sleep.
ignorance and sleep, right?
Yeah.
Gudakesha. So that is all these names. Arjuna, the master of curbing. Yeah. So ignorance also and also sleep, Gudakesha. And Parantapa. So many beautiful names are used to tell that it's not going to happen, Dhritarashtra. And then what happens when we surrender to Krishna? We get enlightened in the knowledge and we get free from false lamentation and we get reinstated in our duty, just like Arjuna is going to do. He is going to fight, right?
Yes.
Mm. Yeah. Anything, any discussion further on these verses that we just read, or somebody wants to share something, and then we will end. Hare Krishna, Shefali Mataji. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you,
Good,
Mataji?
good to hear your voice. Yeah, our special guest. I know you are busy.
Yeah.
I know. All right. Anything else? Anyone? So I feel like remembering this example of Arjuna, how he goes through whatever he goes through, he has so much knowledge of Shastra, the scriptures, Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra, and all, but still he is not able to solve his problem. And he is a devotee of Krishna, and Krishna is with him. He is his friend. So then, what about us? There is no way out.
Yeah. Yeah, Mataji just reminds that
Hmm.
you always have to look for the pleasure of Krishna.
Hmm. Yeah, these names, what is the potency of these names? Just thinking of these names. Yeah. Rishikesha, Govinda. Okay, so should we end then? Thank you. Oh, yeah. Shaila,
Yes, Mataji.
was it okay for you?
Yes, it was okay. Thank you very much for
Hare
letting me in the class. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hope to see you. So the
Yes,
time
yes,
works.
Mataji.
This time we do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If that time works for you, you can join always, like if you like. I think next week we will not have discussions because there are programs in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
Okay.
next week.
Yes,
Right.
Mataji.
Yeah, so we'll miss next, but tomorrow we'll continue tomorrow, Krishna willing.
Right.
So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Hare Krishna,
jai,
Prabhupada.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srimad Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakaltaribhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you,
Thank you,
Lady
Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji. Thank you,
devotees.
Thank you,
devotees.
Mataji.
Krishna.